There are a lot of obstacles to EV adoption, not the least of which is range. Another big one is charging. And of course, there's always going to be one more after that. The latest one is thieves stealing copper from charging locations. The Associated Press has gone into depth to get to the bottom of it. Let's find out what they had to say. I am joined this week by my good friend Mark from the Tesla Life. We will get into all of it together. I'm Brian. Welcome to Futuraza. So, Mark, this is quite a week. I am, of course, in my studio. I am not in
your
my
mobile
studio.
that is.
I'm not in my studio. I saw a funny sign at the desk at check-in. It said, we won't let you stay here if you have a zip code within 50 miles of this hotel. And I said, what's that about? And he said, people come here to do things they won't do at home. I said, it's a hotel, but I get what you're saying. So that's kind of fun. Well, with that colorful bit of commentary, hey, do you know Thieves of charging cable pose yet another obstacle to the appeal? Now, I think it doesn't pose an obstacle to the appeal of EVs. It's certainly a pain in the neck, and it's not very much copper either. Tell me about what's going on here.
Yeah, this article talks a little bit about a theft in operation. Two people pull up in a pickup truck, 2 a.m. At a Seattle supercharger, and hop out. One guy snips the cables, one after another. The other guy gathers up the cables, throws them in the back of the truck, and they're gone within 2.5 minutes. So it's a quick operation, and they've inconvenienced many people that are going to use that Seattle charging location.
Yes, not for a few days at least. Even a rapid response team would need to get out there. It would still be days. And I think the obvious thing is what we need to do is ban straps. Because if they're going to strap it to his head, the only solution is we need to outlaw straps. Yeah, the scene has...
This is going to be a problem going forward. There's no doubt. As EV adoption becomes more and more commonplace and charging stations appear often, the issue of having a secluded charger that's maybe not brightly lit, that someone could arrive and snip some cables and not be noticed and quickly get out of there, is going to be an issue. As you mentioned at the start of it, this is not something that's going to stop EV adoption, but it is going to inconvenience some that are using chargers on a road trip, for example, which you and I are doing right now, actually.
We are. By the time you see this, it may have already happened, but of course, Michigan takeover this weekend, going to be a lot of fun. Big Owners Club event there. You'll see videos about it, I assume, for weeks to come, while I begin hyping the X takeover in San Luis Obispo. So yeah, we've got to look at this here. The article said 2.5 minutes. I don't know what you do to stop a crime that takes place that quickly. Bright lights aren't going to stop them. Security cameras don't seem likely to stop them. And what do? Go back to their garage and strip it down to just individual strands of wire so they can actually turn it in? It seems like a lot of work for very little return. So yeah, stolen cables often disable entire stations. True. Forcing EV owners on the road to search desperately for a working charger. Less true. I had a chance to talk with the Pacific Northwest Director of Supercharger Installations. I hope he's still there. I don't imagine so. That whole division had some trouble. He was telling me that we asked him, should we, when a handle is out of service, call someone? Should we tell Tesla? And they said, you don't need to tell us. We know instantly if the handle is working or not. So when these are cut, Tesla will know within minutes. It's too late. There's nothing you can do about it. Even with a really good camera, I assume they're wearing masks. I assume having the plate number would be inadequate to solve the crime. What I think will happen is you'll see more security measures going up at more locations, starting with just cameras, which will just not stop the crime, but relocate the crime. Now, there's an interesting stat here that you wanted me to share. Broken down chargers have emerged as the latest obstacle to convert more Americans to EVs, despite widespread public anxiety about a scarcity of stations. About 4 in 10 U.S. adults say they take too long to charge or don't know of any stations nearby. You had a point
Yeah,
of clarification on that.
I think they were missing something in that statement, and it's probably the word uninformed US adults.
I think that
Because
is
what you've got
correct.
here is they're just reaching out and saying that, oh, we talked to the man on the street, and they say that EVs take too long to charge. When
And
really they
they
haven't
don't
got a
know where a
clue.
charger is. Yeah.
Yeah, really, they don't have a clue
Mm.
because these people don't have an EV in the first place, and they don't know how they work. So they're just going by what they pull out of the air to say that, yeah, I think I got a problem with it. 40%
Um,
of US adults say they got a problem with too long charging.
no, it's worse. It's dumber and worse and more dishonest. 40% of adults say they take too long or they don't know of any nearby stations. If either one of those is true, it's that 40%. So it could be 20 and 20. It could be
Yeah.
30 and 10. So, and not knowing, I had someone say to me, if I wouldn't buy a Tesla because the only chargers I've ever seen are in the back of parking lots and I don't even know how to find them. I said, you don't find them. The car tells you where they are. And it tells you how many stations how many stalls are open. And I've never seen it, inaccurate by more than the number of people who were likely to show up in the meantime.
I've been
Um,
asked myself, Brian, as to how I can manage a trip of such a long distance coming to a place with an Ontario plate. And they say, how did you get here? I can't believe that you have time to charge your car for 4 hours before you move on to your next leg of the trip. And I said, 4 hours? What are you talking about? It takes 20 minutes or 25 minutes to fully charge, and I'm gone. Where did you get the number 4 hours from? And they don't know. That's
they
just
don't
a
know.
number that they had in their heads.
I met someone who told me with a straight face that they would not buy an EV until it had, and I don't remember the range, but it was an astronomical amount, 600, 1,000 miles, something like that. On the flip side, I did have a gentleman that I met with just today, Kevin, who uh, we had breakfast, and he said, I really want an EV pickup, but I am a service tech at farms and I have to carry my trailer, which is very heavy, and it's my whole shop. Do you know what kind of daily mileage usage he has to cover to do technical work at farms? It's hundreds of miles, not every day, but more than once a week. He would not be able to make it with the range of, and even the Silverado would be unlikely to tow as far as he needs, as heavy as he needs. And it's disappointing, but it's improving. Uh,
Yeah, and those options are improving. That's the thing. Is this AP article is misleading at best.
at best,
It's yep.
the next paragraph, even if you find a station, it doesn't necessarily mean finding functioning cables. Electrify America. It becomes one more reason for skeptical buyers to stick with gas or hybrids, at least for now. Where have I heard that before?
Oil companies.
Oil companies, and also Toyota, moving you forward into the past. America's major automakers have made heavy financial bets that buyers will shift away from combustion engines and embrace EVs. Have they? Because you know that Stellantis envisions 50% of its passenger cars being EVs by the end of 2030, if you include their Europe sales, where it is mandatory. What they're saying is half of our cars will be electric and sold in Europe while we continue selling dyno burners and hybrids in the US. Ford set a target of producing 2 million by 2026. That's not going to happen. And GM, the most ambitious of the three, has pledged to only sell EVs by 2035. I'm assuming this article came out before they announced a 50% reduction in their 2024 EV targets. So there are obstacles. I don't know if this is the one. I don't know if this is the big deal. Or is it something that worries you?
Not at all. It's something that this is not even in my equation. Yes, you will run into chargers that require maintenance, or God forbid that all the cables have been cut. Those type of things will happen here and there. But at this point, it's not stopping me from road tripping. Definitely not, because the instances are few and far between.
It is indeed. The cost of it is not directly on you and me, but it will be passed on to us. This money comes from somewhere, and it's not like these are going to be paid out by insurance. I had said to a viewer had said, well, there's a rash of these thefts going on. And I said, I haven't seen it myself. And he said, there was 7 in the greater Houston area. I said, okay, that's one team going around doing all of them. It's like the cars being hit in San Francisco. All of those people are connected. Because you'll notice it doesn't, those thefts, when it was only Teslas getting hit, the crime ring never spread wider than Sacramento. And now, of course, Tesla's making all of their new vehicles San Francisco proof, where you can't just pop the glass. That's not the official reason. They said it's to keep the volume down. And maybe it's the volume of complaints from buyers in the greater Bay Area. I think that's what it is. So, guys, what did we miss? What did we misunderstand? Are these charger cables being cut a big deal? No big deal. Why are we even talking about it? Or are you just hanging out because you like us? Because I think
Brian,
that's
I'd like to
the real
ask one
reason.
question to the viewer.
Please.
I'd like them to write in the comments as to how they think we could prevent these type of thefts on charging cables. Besides, electrocuting somebody, besides putting lights out, video cameras, is there anything else we're missing? What could prevent these type of crimes from happening in the future?
Right. Obviously, lights are helpful. Those get expensive in a hurry and they cost money forever because you have to keep them bright. I'll tell you, obviously, we're going to see people saying, just leave the cables hot. That's
Exactly.
not, this is
That's
not a
not great
death
for the
sentence.
liability. No,
Yeah,
that's not good.
let's not this isn't a capital crime. But another way is higher utilization. They'll only do it if there are no cars there. You think they're going to pull up and try this with a human witness? I don't. I don't, because you never know when that human's going to be an off-duty Brazilian police officer, and those guys are always carrying guns. Okay, I may have conflated a couple things there, but you get the idea. It's a crime of opportunity. Remove the opportunity. I did see a good one. I think Joa posted this on X. It was in, I want to say Singapore, where it was a gated parking lot. And when you pull up, a plate reader looks to see if you have the EV specific tag that they offer in that country, the tag that allows you to reduce parking or carpool lanes or whatever it is. And if your tag is an EV tag, the gate opens. You could do the same thing with the app. You go in the app and say, I'm here, and it says, aha, image recognition, that is a Tesla, in you go. And then you're never iced out, and the chargers are always behind a gate. Maybe they would jump the gate, cut them and jump it. I don't know. Any obstacle seems better than donating copper. In the comments, what are we going to do? How are we going to stop it? What did we miss? What do we misunderstand? Leave it. I beg of you. And everybody else, like, subscribe, smack the thumbs, head over to the Tesla Life, see what Mark is up to. I did not catch their show today, for I was on the road driving. So you'll have to let me know in the comments how their show was this week, because that's the only way I can find out. And everybody else, stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to hear from you clever robots, including you, Mark, on Saturday in Muskegon, even though that has already happened by the time this comes out. Oh,
Time travel. It's a bummer.
it's not for the weak.